We've seen how institutions are designed to shape us, but institutions are slow, deliberate, and built over decades. Algorithms are different. They're invisible, instantaneous, and they've rewired an entire generation before anyone could ask if this was right. To understand how we got here, we need to look back at our history yet again and examine the subtle changes to culture and society. The adage goes strong men make good times make weak men make hard times. Where do you think we are in this cycle? The average age of anyone that served in World War II today is 99, a generation born in the Great Depression, only to be thrown into World War II when entering adulthood. This generation knew struggle, hardship, and sacrifice, the silent generation. Picture a 17-year-old kid lying in the mud on the beach, wondering if he's going to see tomorrow. His parents survived bread lines, dust storms, and the Great Depression of the 1930s, just to watch him be shipped off to war. That's the silent generation. No therapy, no comfort, just endurance. We look at the same generation today, Gen Z, snowflake generation, born in absolute abundance. But this abundance didn't come from nowhere. An explosion of technological power that would have seemed like magic just decades ago was beginning to reach its inflection point. Nowhere was that more visible than in the machines quietly humming in the background of it all. IBM RAM released in 1956. It's the first commercial hard drive system storing only 5 megabytes of data on a rotating magnetic disc inside a machine that weighed 50 pounds and occupied the space of a large refrigerator. It cost $32,000, equivalent to roughly $500,000 today, making it accessible only to massive corporations and government agencies. This groundbreaking technology became the blueprint for everyday hard drives that followed, fundamentally transforming how the world stored and accessed information. Fast forward 25 years. 1981, IBM releases its personal computer, carrying 8 times the memory of the Apollo guidance system. In this moment, we find ourselves standing at the very precipice of a technological explosion that would rewrite human history. What once was only available to the rich businesses and government entities was now available for everyday use at a moderate price. In the 90s, we see the connection of all these machines begin with the early inception of the internet, while processing power still rises exponentially. What once was enough technology to get us to the moon was now given to children to keep them entertained. The Game Boy Advanced. We arrive in 2008, the exact middle of Gen Z's birth years. The oldest are teenagers, some of the youngest are newborns, and the entire generation is about to walk straight into the perfect storm of an economic collapse and technological disruption. Apple releases the first version of the iPhone alongside with the inception of social media apps like Facebook. The original iPhone in 2007 had a 412 megahertz processor and 128 megabytes of RAM. And the original storage ranged from 4 to 16 gigabytes. Compare that to the 1956 IBM RAM of 5 megabytes of storage, taking up a whole room. The iPhone's smallest storage is about 3,000 times larger, condensed into a smaller space. And the processing speed, comparing 412 megahertz to a couple of kilohertz, these ranges were astronomical and exponential. And only to think that's still 2 decades from where we are at today. The iPhone is literally millions of times more powerful than the machines that filled entire rooms, and it fits in our pocket. And this is only over the course of 60 years. But we've released this technology into a world with almost no understanding of what it would do to an entire generation growing up inside it. Now let's look through the lens of a child born into this environment. It's 2008, the economy is in free fall, parents are working longer hours, stressed about keeping their homes, desperate for any relief they can find. Then the iPhone arrives.
But what we're going to do is get rid of all these buttons and just make a giant screen. A giant screen.
Hello?
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hello, Barney.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Hi.
How you doing there? Yellow.
Hello.
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 Hello?
Yo, yo. Hello. 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 Hello.
Marketed as a miracle, the ultimate babysitter, and parents are exhausted, overwhelmed, and take the bait. They hand their kid a device without understanding what they're actually handing them. At first, everything was fine. Parents were even overjoyed with how the tablet and iPhone pacified their kids.
It's not your typical toddler toy, but pacifiers and puzzles fail. Many parents, including myself, have turned to the iPad or iPhone to pacify our young ones. In fact, take a look at the App Store right now. Now, 4 of the top 10 best-selling education apps are designed for children under the age of 5.
But the cracks started to show.
Now, we did our own slightly unscientific experiment. At 19 months, Marcus is already familiar with his dad's iPhone. He's never seen an iPad, but after he's shown what it can do, he goes for it every time, choosing to play with it over his usual favorite toys.
They're interested in controlling objects.
At 5, little Sam couldn't focus without a screen. By 10, he was anxious without his phone or video games. By 15, the algorithm had introduced him to increasingly explicit content, normalizing things his brain wasn't even ready for. The tool that promised education has instead exposed him to material designed to addict him. We must take note. The algorithm affects boys and girls differently. Boys tend to be pulled towards more extreme content, aggression, pornography, radicalization, because the algorithm rewards engagement through outrage and intensity of conflict. Girls get pulled towards comparison, perfectionism, beauty standards, and body image, validation through likes. Boys are being radicalized and desensitized, while girls are being objectified and made insecure. Different traps, same algorithm, pulling men and women apart. While little Sam disappeared in the world of screens, sedated by video games and pornography, slowly becoming invisible, little Sammy was being pushed into the spotlight, whether she was ready or not. The moment she opened an account, the algorithm rewarded her image, her body, her appearance. One was being erased, while the other was being exploited. And neither of them chose this. Some parents questioned this technology, while others embraced it and exploited it altogether.
It's Piper, go!
Piper Raquel is an incredibly popular child influencer.
This young lady's amassed more than 10 million followers on YouTube.
Piper's mother, Tiffany Smith, is the momager.
She took these kids to massive viral fame. It seemed so innocent, but it wasn't innocent at all.
Tiffany Smith saw a goldmine in her daughter. She put her in front of cameras and started uploading at the age of 8. Pranks, challenges, innocent enough. But as the algorithm rewarded engagement, the content shifted. Fake kissing videos, romantic scenarios with other creators, and increasingly inappropriate material involving minors. All monetized, all generating millions. 12 million people subscribed, millions more watched. The algorithm didn't flag it. YouTube didn't stop it, because engagement is engagement. And Raquel Piper's childhood was just content. The algorithm doesn't care if it's a 5-year-old. It just cares if people are watching. Leading up to Piper Raquel's 18th birthday, she began a countdown to release her pornographic content on OnlyFans. A minor was promoting the release of her pornographic content. This was being promoted by legacy media.
A Nightline exclusive. Piper Raquel as you've never seen her.
I felt like when I first dropped my OnlyFans, I was thinking a little bit too much like, oh my God, I need to have this kind of photo and this kind of photo.
What is the most you've been offered for the least you've done?
Piper Raquel, for months, literally counted down to her OnlyFans debut.
January 1st, the life is gonna change just a tad bit. I'm gonna get a little bit of...
Piper doing her own countdown clock is rewriting the narrative. She's the one counting down to her own coming of age.
Hey, it is Piper Raquel, and welcome to my vlog.
Piper Raquel was the biggest kid influencer of the 2010s.
Her move from child star to a sex symbol OnlyFans model was a shocking success.
Look at how mainstream media portrays this. They show a little girl, and then in the next instance, they're saying she's successful on OnlyFans. What are we really doing here?
Her claims that she made $2.9 million in her first day. That is an astronomical amount of money even within the OnlyFans world.
And this is not the only instance. Danielle Berlogi, I think that's how you say her name, became famous on the Dr. Phil show back in 2014. Her parents brought her on because she was involved, she was having behavioral issues, talking back, being disrespectful, and not listening to authority. It was framed as a parenting problem that Dr. Phil would handle. But the episode became famous for her attitude and her catchphrase, "Catch me outside."
Catch me outside, how about that?
What's actually fascinating about this clip is if you go back and actually watch this thing in its full context, you can see that the audience is cheering, celebrating, and applauding this type of behavior.
And all these hoes laughing like something funny.
She's talking about the audience, that they're laughing at her.
Did you say the hoes are laughing?
Yep.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes.
Yep.
Which then launched her into internet fame, rewarding her for her behavior, to the point where she did the same thing and had a countdown to her OnlyFans.
In the night you turned 18, you registered to vote?
No, huh?
Huh?
That's not what I thought you were saying.
Oh, you thought I was going to say join the military.
No, I'm gonna say is when I joined OnlyFans.
You joined OnlyFans the night you turned 18?
I think so, yeah.
And people subscribed right away?
Yeah.
Should they be in jail?
Yeah.
The virality is happening more frequently. We also need to take a look at how the media frames these incidents too. But that's for another video. Jack Doherty represents the masculine counterpart. He is performing recklessly, breaking laws, and getting arrested, and is still recording because the content is more important than the consequences.
Jack Doherty just got put in his place. Recently, Jack went on a stream and started talking trash about a YouTuber named Lenny Miller.
Who is this guy? Hey, let me get one too. No, I'm kidding. Holy shit. Huh? Excuse me, sir. Who? Chat, who is he?
Bro, you always crying like that. I'm not crying. Wait outside while I fight this guy. Do it again. Wait outside while I fight this guy. Say it again. Why? You're gonna get mad? You're looking. Look, when I say wait outside while I fight this guy, he gets mad. Say it again.
I said it a bunch of times. Why don't you walk outside?
Say it again.
Here, let me show you.
Jack Doherty gets jumped.
We got out of there, motherfucker. Let's go. I didn't say any curse words. What'd I say?
Just watch your language.
What'd I say?
You got a stupid shirt on over there.
Yeah. Your kids can't read, though. Your kids can't read, can they?
I'm seeing your kids watch. Get away from me.
You started talking to me, buddy.
Get away from me.
You get away from me. Watch your kids. Go walk away.
If you didn't have him, would you walk around by yourself?
You know he would. I'm wearing jewelry. No.
But the recklessness doesn't stop there. Behind the chaos and the crash clips, Doherty has been accused of running a far more calculated operation, recruiting young women into OnlyFans contracts, taking up 50% of their lifetime earnings, and silencing them with NDAs. His ex-partner has publicly spoken about how she was pushed toward adult content, and a fellow creator even accused him of approaching girls weeks or nights before their 18th birthday to sign away their future. This is modern day pimping, and it's celebrated. This isn't just a guy who doesn't care about consequences. This is someone who's built a business model on exploiting them.
I noticed that you manage girls. Is that true or no?
Yeah.
And managing in their OnlyFans?
Yeah. And like kind of all around too, but like, yeah, I mean, I help like blow them all up on social media and they make money on OnlyFans and honestly all platforms.
I'm assuming these girls are selling nudes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, in no disrespect, this is a version of pimping. You're pimping these girls out. You don't think that's attacking your heart in any way?
No, because at the end of the day, they all, they already like want to do what they're doing. And it's just like, I just actually make the money doing it. Because there are so many girls that actually do OnlyFans and make, $0 and stuff. And they're doing it all for what, But it's like every girl I work with makes like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month and millions of dollars a year,
Yeah,
So
but I
it's
think
just
you're
like-
smart enough now to know that money can't, make you happy. Like,
Yeah,
dude, you
well,
have
it was-
a watch that's more expensive than any car I drive.
I wouldn't
And
say
well
I'm
for them.
pushing them to like do it.
Boys are being rewarded for their dangerous behavior, for pushing boundaries, for not caring about accountability. Girls are being consumed for their image. Boys are being celebrated for their chaos. Both are destroyed by the algorithm, just in completely different ways. The algorithm rewards this. YouTube doesn't care if Piper is being exploited. TikTok doesn't care if Jack's breaking the law. They care about engagement. And now Gen Alpha arriving with tablets at 7 and smartphones at 8, the problem isn't getting any better. It's accelerating. We built this system, this environment, without understanding what it would do to our kids. And now we're seeing the price they're paying. So we've watched the algorithm raise a generation. We've seen what it rewards, what it exploits, what it destroys. But here's the question nobody's asking. Where was public education in this? While the world inside algorithms was rewritten itself every 18 months, the classroom stayed frozen. We were still teaching kids the way we taught them a century ago. Rows of desks, memorize, repeat, test, forget. The same model built to produce factory workers in an industrial age is being used to prepare children for a war that no longer exists. Think about the gap. 100 years ago, we lit our homes with oil lanterns. We sent letters that took weeks. Fastest information traveled was at the speed of a train. Now a child holds a device millions times more powerful than the computer that put men on the moon. And we handed it to them like Prometheus handing down fire, convinced it was a gift, progress, power, a spark that would light up the whole future. We never stopped to ask what the fire actually does. It warms a house, it burns it down, it cooks a meal, it consumes a fire. The same flame, two outcomes, decided entirely by whether the person holding it understands what it actually is. We didn't teach them, we didn't warn them. We just gave them fire and walked away. This is the Frankenstein moment our generation refuses to name. Victor built his creature thinking he was creating life, progress, a miracle. He didn't prepare for what it would actually become. Neither did we. We handed them a device with no instruction, no defense, no understanding of the forces on the other side of that screen. A war for their attention, self-image, and their childhood. This isn't a failure of teachers or parents. It's a failure of a system to ask the only question that matters. In a world like this, what is actually worth knowing? Because the skills that protect a kid aren't the ones on the test. It's the ability to recognize manipulation, sit with boredom without reaching for a screen, to know their worth isn't quantifiable by just a number, to think critically about what's being sold to them and who's selling it. These aren't electives. It's in this environment. It's their survival. Education doesn't need a tweak. It needs a total revamp, rebuilt from the ground up in a world we actually live in. No one was left behind 100 years ago. The lanterns are gone. The question is whether if we're willing to update everything else. Okay, that concludes part 2. Appreciate it if you guys got all the way to the end of this. Part 3, we're gonna kind of go into like what the future outlook looks. It's gonna get a little dark, guys, because unfortunately this isn't gonna solve itself anytime soon. This is definitely this is a generational problem at this point. So appreciate it, guys.